Hello and welcome to the CDT. This is Thursday, the 9th of the 9th of June, so it's the 43rd day on the trail. And today was a doozy. Today's shout out goes to Mother Nature for reminding I think all of us, but specifically hikers, to be flexible and know that you're never in control. So I woke up this morning with a goal to hike between 19 and 20 miles, and I ended up hiking like 19.8. However, around 11:30, I noticed that there were some dark clouds that were kind of beginning to congregate in the western sky, and we're on the section, we meaning the through hikers, some of us are on the section of the CDT that actually dips west further into the San Juans. So we go west and then we do a big kind of a horseshoe and then start heading east. And we start heading east once we meet up with the Colorado Trail and start hiking to San Luis Peak and San Luis Pass. So I'm currently hiking on the western piece of that horseshoe. The reason why I say some of the hikers are on this is there is a cutoff, so it's an alternate that people can take. It's like 13 miles outside of Pagosa Springs, and they do a cutoff down to Creed, and it cuts off this kind of like horseshoe shape, and you get to hike right into Creed and then hike back to the CDT proper, and you meet up with the trail right around San Luis Pass and Peak. And I think people do this for a couple of reasons. One, this horseshoe shape has a bit of elevation up and down. There's still snow out here. There's still, tree deadfall, and it's also, more miles and whatnot. I think an additional reason is once I get to, I think right before San Luis Pass, there's a 12-mile cutoff that I can jump down to Creed. It's actually the end of the alternate that other people use to get back on the CDT. I can just do it in reverse and jump down to Creed to pick up my resupply, and then I have to hike the 12 miles back to the trail. And so I think some people don't want to do that 12-mile backtrack, and so they decide just to do the Creed cutoff. So, excuse me, I'm on the western side of the horseshoe on the CDT outside of Pagosa Springs. I'm 2 days out now, and Mother Nature around 11:30 started congregating some dark clouds, and I've seen this before hiking 14ers and whatnot. So I hiked as long as I could before I figured the storm was going to start, and so I was able to hike for about another hour to about 12:45, and or 12:30ish, and then I noticed that I was directly under the storm, and the thunder was getting closer, and so I stopped, found a place to put up my tent, and I had to pick a good place because I didn't know how long the storm was going to last. And a good place meaning like there's drainage, it's kind of flat. Like I did the best I could. There's protection because there's some trees around, not by water or anything that attracts the lightning. And I pitched my tent at what did I say, 12:35ish, I guess. And the storm started at 12:45. I got hit with pea-size hail. I got hit with frozen rain. I got hit with 3 different bouts of just rain, good old-fashioned wet rain. And the storm lasted for about an hour. Thankfully, it was short, but it was a good reminder from Mother Nature that you may think you're hiking 19 to 20 miles today, but I have other plans, or, the weather gods have other plans. So fortunately, the storm was short. I was able to repack all my stuff and continue hiking, and I did hit my mileage, but I am a little bit later in the day. It's 7:51. So I cooked dinner, and it's just sitting, rehydrating, which is almost ready. I finished putting up my tent and stretched and all that fun stuff. So I'm basically going to excuse me, eat my dinner and clean my bowl or the cooking pot and jump in the tent before it gets too cold and the sun's about to go below the ridge there. So it was a fun day on the CDT. My toe is doing okay. There is still a bit of pain, but it's not actually when I step. So like I can go from heel to toe and step through the entire stride all right. For some reason, there's lingering pain on the it's like the outside of the big toe. And the joint seems to be doing okay. So I'm hoping that, whatever inflammation or fluids or whatever are just stuck on the outside of the toe because it's not in joint. And so maybe it just needs an extra day or two to work itself out. So I'm hoping it's going to work itself out. Tomorrow's going to be an interesting day. There's a piece of the CDT in this section that's called the knife's edge. For anyone who's hiked Capitol Peak here in Colorado, we have a knife's edge on that route, and there's exposure, like a sheer drop on both sides. And so that's what I think of when I hear a knife's edge. Also, Mount Eolus, that 14er has what I think people refer to as the catwalk, which it does have exposure on both sides, but one side's a little bit nicer or more forgiving than the other side. Sorry, I got a cough again. But the catwalk's a little bit, I think, wider, if I remember correctly. Like, you can put two shoes side by side on the catwalk, whereas on the knife's edge on Capitol Peak, I think it's like single file feet. But the knife's edge on the CDT looks like, I've only seen a picture, so I'm gonna have to get there tomorrow. But it looks like there's a wall on one side, and then there's the drop off on the other, and it's pretty thin. So it might be more like, for anyone who's hiked Long's Peak up in Rocky Mountain National Park, another 14er, if you go the keyhole route, there's some ledges that you have to hike on where one side you're okay, like you can lean into the wall, and then the other side's the drop off. And so I'm wondering if this section tomorrow is going to be like those ledges on Longs. So I can update everyone tomorrow after I hike it. The report let's see, tomorrow's gonna be the 10th, so 5 days ago. So as of today, it's 4 days. Tomorrow will be 5. The snow was manageable. People were making their own decision whether or not to use traction, but you still had to cross some snow on the knife's edge. It'll be interesting to see how much snow is there tomorrow, since that's 5 days since the report came in. And a lot of snow has been melting quickly. This last stretch that I did today, there were still down trees, of course, but there was no snow blocking the trail. So a week ago, there was still snow on this trail, and people had to still hike around it. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. I think that's it. So everyone have a nice evening. Thanks for watching the videos. I hope you're enjoying them. I'll give an update on the knife's edge tomorrow, and if I can do it, or if I have to take the alternate, hopefully I'm close enough I can do it in the morning so the snow will still be nice and firm instead of slushy, and hopefully everything goes well. So again, thanks everyone. Have a great evening, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.